Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. This is Anthony Pica, your crazy host, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. This is episode 172. Yes, it's 172, and I think that I've got a good episode for you tonight because I'm going to be telling you about the new social media plan I have rolling out and some of the results that I'm already seeing, and I want to share those with you so that you could possibly do the same thing. All right, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
Okay, so as you know, I love social media, but not as you may think, however. I'm not a social media buff personally, like when it comes to me with personal accounts. You might notice that I don't post anything personally. Everything that I post on social media has to do with my business and my life revolving around my business. Nothing has to do with me personally. Now, I think I've posted one or two things here or there, whether, it's for my wife's birthday or my kid's birthday or something very significant. But other than that, I don't post anything on social media regularly. I just post things for my business. And I have, I have really fallen in love with social media for business. The reason for it is because, as I've said in the past, that is where all of the eyeballs are. Right? That is where everybody is. So anyways, I wanted to talk tonight about what I'm doing on social media right now and maybe how you can emulate some of it, but some of the things that I've started working on in the last couple of days, some of the results I'm seeing, and like I said, how they could help you. So what I've started to do is, as you might have known in the past, I have been very consistent with posting videos and, podcast, although I will admit that they've kind of gone down to one a week. So I apologize for that. But, I'm still trying to keep up, but I'm still doing, I do videos, we do blog articles, repurpose a lot of content. And, I'm putting out that content, and I was putting out about 1 to 2 posts a day. And, that was going very well. And a lot of people finding me, a lot of people finding my YouTube channel. I mean, YouTube has really just grown wonderfully. I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers. I mean, they're around 1,700, but those 1,700 subscribers are absolutely fantastic. They're engaged. So that's a wonderful thing. But as I was doing that, I was making sure that no matter what social media I put out, whether it was on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whether it was my blog, whether it was my podcast, whether it was LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, I always made sure that I put links to my website, to the places that I wanted people to go in order to find out more information about me, whether it was my Facebook page, whether it was my podcast, whether it was my YouTube channel, whether it was my website, wherever I wanted people to go, I always make sure that I put those links. Now, recently, like I was telling you about, I have started to do pretty much double or quadruple the amount of posts per day that I have been doing in the past. And you might ask, geez, Anthony, how in the world is that possible with your crazy schedule? Well, I'm here to tell you. So what I have done is I've actually turned my system, if you will, my social media system that I've created over to a manager. Now, this is someone that, in all fairness, I've worked with for a couple of years, and they've been managing. Well, they've not been. I wouldn't call them managing in the past, but they've been creating content for me in various forms, like repurposing some of the content I've already created. And working with this person, I wanted to find a way to increase the amount of social media posts, content, variety of content I'm putting out in order to reach more people. As of now, I was typically putting out pretty much just video content, which is wonderful. But, there's a lot of other types of content like, podcast, audio content. There's written content. I wasn't putting out a great deal of that content in the form of, bite-size digestible social media posts. So I wanted to move forward with this idea of working with someone who could manage all of that content, put out 4 to 5 pieces of content per platform per day. Okay. So if we think about that, we've got LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so you're talking, 20 to 25 pieces of content per day. Now, with that being said, the type of content I'm putting out, okay, I've narrowed it down to some specific pieces, some specific types currently. So we're putting out video content, short video bites. Okay, as you might know, I put out a minute or less video bites of different clips taken from the videos that I've done. And, we put those out. Then we're also adding from the podcast video or sound bites from the podcast. So something that Buzzsprout, which is the podcast host, the people, the company who hosts my podcast, they have this little thing that allows you to create these little videos. They're not, action videos or anything, but they're videos that have, waves attached to them and they look kind of spiffy, and allows you to take, 30 seconds, a minute clip or whatever of any of the podcasts, and it creates this little sound bite for you. All right. So we're adding that to the daily post log, which is sound bites. What we're also doing is adding a blog blurb. So basically from the blog, we're taking a quote from a VO's Journey blog, adding some art to it, like some, related pictures with something to do with voiceover, whether it's my studio, whether it's microphones, something cool that's related to the voiceover industry and that's related as much as we can make it possible related to the blog, the blog quote, we're creating content like that. All right, that's another piece. We're also putting out a piece that is just a blog relate, just like a mini blog. So 2 to 3 paragraphs or so per day on the platforms like Facebook, like LinkedIn, like Twitter, although even Twitter only allows you to have 280 characters or something like that, but you can still get a decent amount in there. So, in these platforms, we're trying to put out those 4 pieces of content daily, plus the videos, the podcast, and the regular blogs that go out normally during the week. So you can see that this is quite a huge uptick, whereas really before, what was going out was a video a day, all right, plus, the video, blog, and podcast that go out normally. But now you can see we've added basically 3 posts per day on top of those other 2 posts. Okay, so, now we're up to 5 posts per day. Now, the crazy thing about this is, how do you post all of that stuff? Well, you've got a bunch of different things going on here, right? We've got, how do we manage all of that? How do we create, where do we get all the content from? How do we put it in a place where we can, be consistent and not have someone being full-time, putting out all of this content. All right. We've got to create the content. We've got to put it out. We've got to put tags. We've got to make sure they go on the right platforms, make sure everything's formatted correctly. And this is a daily thing, right? So basically insert the program called Hootsuite. All right. Hootsuite is an incredible online platform that you can actually schedule all of your social media posts. You can see all of your streams, all right, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of them across the board. You can see all of them, manage them, and you can publish in a planner so you can actually pre-plan and schedule your posts, okay? Now, the cool thing about this is that it allows me to have someone using the system that I just told you about, not only curate this content from the content that I'm creating or I've created, that allows them to get onto that platform, onto Hootsuite, schedule those posts, right? And then actually put them out throughout the week on all the different social media platforms. Okay. And this is now sweeping across all of my social media. It's, we're working on formatting as well. We're working on trying to figure all these things out to make everything better and tweak it and everything. But so far it's going really well. And I wanted to, kind of tell you first off, how you get all this content to put out. Well, as you know, with these podcasts, at this point, I have over 171 podcasts. This is episode 172. So we'll have 172. I have, at this point, hundreds of videos. Okay, I have hundreds of videos available. We're getting close to around 50 blog posts on a VO's journey. So, we're talking about a massive amount of content. And when you put out this content, which has been put out by me, I put out these videos. As you know, I did live videos for a long time on YouTube. I also put out, videos I do that are not live, that are just, recorded videos. Also these podcasts, I've done all these podcasts over a couple of years. And also the blog posts, I've written a bunch of blog posts. I've had a writer help me write blog posts. It's been a wonderful journey with the blog as well. And that's reaching a lot of new people who like to digest content through a blog or written, especially when you're at work or you're somewhere where you can't, be loud or you can't listen to something. You know what I mean? You've got to read it. So it's a really nice twist. But I have all this content. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content that, I have I have a talented person who can take that content, all right, and, put it into, minute or less videos, put it into minute or less little sound bites, put it into, quotes, put it into little, longer blog sections, like for different social media outlets. So it's not an actual picture, all right, or any of that. It's just an actual like written mini blog post. Okay, so that's where all that content comes from, and I just continue to keep creating that content like I am here. All right, and one serves the other. Now, at this point, I have to continue to create content. That's a part of the daily job that I have, is to continue to create content. But the difference now is that I have a system and a team now on the back end that takes that content and does so much more with it. Okay, so that's the first part of this. The second part of this, and I think where we're seeing a lot of amazing results, all right, and I was just pouring over my analytic numbers for example, of VO's journey, is that what I'm seeing or what we're doing is we are now posting links to, for example, the blogs, the videos, the podcasts. We're posting links to the actual places where the content is coming from. All right. And what I'm seeing is, plus, again, with all of that extra content, remember, I have in my profiles of like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, I've got directly linked to my website as well, VO's Journey. So we've got all of these extra access that's going out through, 4 to 5 posts a day. Each post has relevant links going to a specific place that I'm building content. I'm making content. And so traffic is just starting to explode on these places. Now, what's interesting is I've been putting out content for a while, and they get great. I mean, I've had good traffic, but what I'm noticing is quite a large uptick in the traffic to these places because of the linking, making sure that each post has these links inside them, as well as those distinct pieces of content. Now, I always talk about trying to, the whole thing here is you're growing your business through social media by posting content that's either educational, entertaining, inspiring, thought-provoking, something that is adding value to people's lives. Okay. And, this is what you posting on social media is about. Now, you can also add value to people's lives by participating in the communities, right? By leaving comments and, finding amazing content and then commenting on that and sharing that content. There's a bunch of different ways, more ways to be a part of a community. But when it comes to creating the content, I find that those pillar pieces of content, video content, audio content like podcasting, and blog content, right? Written content. Those three are the really pillar pieces of content that if you can create one, two, or all three of them, all right, then you can then take those pieces of content and divide them up and break them up into little pieces of content and repurpose them. Because let's be honest, social media is a quick place. Sure, we go to Facebook and we spend a lot more time on Facebook, but the reality is if we're on Twitter, if we're on Instagram, if we're on LinkedIn, we go to these places, we watch a quick blurb, we read something quickly, and we move on. Right? That's the nature of things. That's what it's supposed to be like. So because of that, it's important that we actually put content out there just like that so people can actually really, digest it in the manner in which we're hoping for. And then leaving easy links or easy access to more information if they have time, or they could save it for later. Right? This is really important. Plus, what I've started to do as well is, if you haven't noticed, if you're not on the email list, we have close to about 500 people on our email list now, VO's Journey email list. So I've started being more now, this was supposed to happen a long time ago, but I started actually sending out the weekly newsletter, which is, so for the last 2 weeks, I've sent out a newsletter, and basically, it's just a nice email that has curated content from different pieces of content I've put out that week with a little blurb about, what's going on or what I recommend to listen to, et cetera, et cetera. So that's something that's going out as well. So you see, like, all of these touch points. Now, if your head's spinning, my head's spinning too, because it's a lot. But if you look at it from a 20,000 foot view, all right, and you take and you can almost see, all right, and it could be just me because, I've been living this now for a while. You can see a diagram, right, being drawn, right? You can see these three pillars of content. Okay, and from these pillars of content, all right, the legs, the legs spreading out to these different social media platforms, all right, and how the content can just go back and forth. It's really an amazing system. Now, I didn't create it. Clearly, this is something that a lot of successful online entrepreneurs and social media experts and stuff use. Okay. And I can't say that I did this on purpose to begin with. When I started my podcast, if you listened to it long enough, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just trying to help out, at the time. But as we've gone on, and I've really started to see how people find my content, how people use those links to find more of my content. And from that content, people find me. The other day, it was the funniest thing. I had gotten a comment from one of my YouTube videos from a client who had bought a voiceover from me, and they were just commenting that they loved the video I put out on. It was something educational about voiceover, and that they really loved the voiceover I did for them. And they'll be working with me again, and they liked the video, even though it had nothing to do with, specifically offering them a voiceover. The point was, though, is that this content reaches everyone, whether it is directly geared towards, getting voiceover business or not. Okay, so that's why I said don't be so concerned with your content has to be about getting voiceover work. It does not have to be about getting voiceover work. It needs to be about helping people. That's what it needs to be about. So anyways, I wanted to tell you the incredible boost that's happening from this new system that I have put in place this week, and it's going really quite well. And all of the posts are being scheduled. They're from this platform called Hootsuite by a manager that I'm working with now. And again, I still am the creator of the content, but now I have a curator of that content who takes it and can divide it up. I am working with a blog writer now, so that's helpful too, because videos take a while too, but blogs take a long time as well if you are not necessarily a writer. And I love to write, but it takes time. So it's nice to work with someone who's a very talented blog writer who's also a voiceover artist. So that's really nice as well. So things are going very well in that sense, and I wanted to tell you this because I'm not saying that you should go out tomorrow and start a blog and start a podcast and start a video, start a YouTube channel and go wild. Although if you want to, I highly recommend it. But what I'm saying to you is you've got to at least get started on one of those pillar pieces of content. Like for example, if you did a video as your pillar piece of content, then you could take that video, take the audio, turn that into a podcast. You could also take that, have it transcribed, turn that into a blog post. You can use videos really are versatile in that manner, but maybe you don't want to be on video right now. Maybe you just want to do podcasting. Well, get on podcasting and start doing a podcast. You can take that, turn that into little videos, sound bites. You can take that and put it into blog posts. You can do all sorts of things. But the idea here is that you want to get out this content. You want to have links going back to the content, and where that content is, you need to have more links heading back to where you want them to eventually go, which is either a website or a group or your profile somewhere on a voiceover website, wherever you want them to go. All right, it's a good idea to put those links into place and not try to actually sell anybody anything. Okay, because they'll find you and they'll work with you. You don't need to sell them. All right. People need stuff. They're looking for the right people to work with, and they want to work with people they trust. And this is how you gain trust by helping. Put out as much helpful content as you can. And if someone needs help from you, they'll contact you. All right. If they want a voiceover from you, they'll contact you. Since I've been doing this too, I've been seeing a huge uptick in getting business off of platforms, business on other platforms, people mentioning they've been seeing my content on social media. This is voiceover clients. So you have to understand that this works across the board, whether you are a voiceover artist, whether you're a coach, whether you are whatever you're doing, whatever business you're doing, period. It doesn't even have to be an online business. This works. And my hope is that this gives you an idea of at least something to shoot for, okay? I know we're not talking about today the specific type of content. I've mentioned educational, I've mentioned entertainment, inspiring, thought-provoking types of content. And there's different types. And I'll do another podcast listing maybe those types of content that you could put out. Like, we talked about video podcasting, but there's also the types of blog posts types of posts and learning how to tag correctly and, putting @ signs to people that you're aware of, being able to get shared and reshared, things like that. We can dive into that. But honestly, if you put out a content on a consistent basis, a lot of that doesn't even matter because people will take care of it for you. The real secret to all of this is consistency. Consistency is the secret. It's true. We all know we got to be consistent. It's with everything. You want to lose weight, you got to be consistent. All right. You want to run a marathon, you got to train consistently. Okay. You want to be good at something, you got to train consistently. You want to, you want to do anything, it has to be consistent in order for you to succeed. Same thing with this. Listen, I know you guys can do it. And I hope that this, me telling you about this tonight has helped in, opening your mind and having you think about the possibilities. All right. Thank you so much, as always, for listening. I really appreciate it, man. We're getting close to 200 episodes, and that is, it's mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing. When we get to 200, we're going to have another free giveaway. If you remember, when we got to 100 episodes, I gave away microphones. I gave away some training. We're definitely going to have some giveaways at the 200th episode. We're getting close. We're only 28 away. You're probably like, doggone it, Anthony, start doing one a day. We'll be there in a week or two. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. You have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you soon. All right. Peace.